YouTube? Basin Truck here. I'm taking off the glasses. It's about to get serious, and I'm going to talk about how I feel about the YouTube creator fiasco. I'm going to try to make this short, but please stick with me. Hear me out to the end, because I think I'm going to make some valid points here that I haven't heard anyone yet discuss. I printed off some notes to keep track of my talking points. Okay, let's start with YouTube as a whole. Some say that YouTube is losing billions of dollars a year, and that it's never been profitable since they were purchased by Google. Nope, that's not happening, and here's why. On paper, they may show being in the red. It's called creative accounting, and it happens all the time, for tax reasons and other things. Now, let's talk about the movie studios, for example. On many movies, the director, executive producer, take a lesser cut up front in lieu of sharing some of the profits after the movie's finished, merchandising, all that stuff. It's very common. Now the studios are notorious for screwing people who try to do this, and it's called creative accounting. It doesn't matter if this movie sold $400 million worth of ticket sales. According to their books in creative accounting, it's still $200 million in the hole. And they do that so when you have DVD sales, Blu-ray sales, merchandise, all that stuff, so they don't have to pay anyone. So they keep all the money. And if you don't believe this, you can look it up. There's tons of evidence all over the internet that this happens almost every day. That's why I think YouTube isn't losing billions of dollars legitimately. And it all has to do with the creative accounting. We all know who YouTube's parent companies are. We all know they make billions of dollars a year in profits. And sometimes you need to show a big loss on your books somewhere to avoid paying a lot of taxes. So I think via creative accounting, they're making YouTube look like it's taking a loss to offset some of their profits. When in reality, I don't think it is. There are only a few things that are really costing YouTube as a company any money. You've got the personnel, which you're going to have one way or the other. I don't think YouTube employs a ton of people in the Google sphere of employment. You've got bandwidth, you've got hardware, and you've got the related infrastructure to support it. Now, storage these days is super cheap. Hard drives are cheaper than they've ever been, so I don't really think that's an issue. Bandwidth, I wouldn't be surprised if they really don't pay much bandwidth at all. Heck, for all I know, they own the fiber going between everybody, so that may be a moot point too. Now, they did have to invest in that, but I don't know. Now, that stuff does cost money. I can't deny that. But I would not be surprised if the YouTube servers share other things that Google runs. Let's say the same data center that's running YouTube is also running their Google Drive, is running one of their other many things, and they're using that to shell off some of the load and the cost onto the YouTube side to show a loss. Either way, it's a very tangled web, and I don't have access to any of that, so I can't prove any of this, but if you think about it, it makes sense. Which brings us down to, why are they really doing this? I know some creators are stealing other creators' content or ripping off other people's intellectual property rights. Some people are posting things on YouTube that YouTube deems inappropriate and against their terms. For example, Logan Paul. Some say there were a number of channels with jihad propaganda that had advertising on it and the advertisers got upset about. And most companies don't want to be associated with that sort of thing in this day and age, for better or worse. But how is cutting off small channels really going to help this? Logan had a huge following. That wouldn't have stopped that. I know they said they're going to hire around 10,000 people to go through all the big channels' footage when it gets uploaded to make sure it's safe to monetize, so the advertisers feel safe that their advertisements aren't going to wind up on a jihadist propaganda film. Which brings us to part 2 of their screening attempts. The artificial intelligence they started using to filter out unacceptable content does not work at all. Many of us have gotten videos demonetized by their AI that were perfectly fine. And I'm not the only one to show this. I've had it happen to a number of mine, and if you search on YouTube right now, you'll find tons of people that have been complaining about the same thing. I think there was something like, it was nothing but a picture of a flower or a video of a flower, and it got demonetized. There was no sound, and it was just a picture of a flower. I don't remember seeing that one, but I thought I remember someone saying something, but I wouldn't be surprised. And a manual review of the video is never going to happen on a small channel. We just can't hit the required views in a 48-hour period. And if we did, that's basically our whole viewer base, and we've lost out on everything. Now that we have that out of the way, let's look at what this is really about. Plain and simple, this will not save YouTube any money. In fact, it's actually going to cost them more money. If they were making some money off the small channels, and now they're making none, how is that helping? Unless they plan on keeping ads on these channels and not paying the creators at all, that's the only way this is going to make YouTube any money. They already keep a huge percentage of what's being paid out on these channels. And now they just want it all? There was no other reason why they would do this from a financial standpoint that makes any sense. They're only costing themselves more money by leaving the smaller channels ad-free. Time will tell what will happen. The only other thing I can think of is that if they're going to try to get higher ad rates on the larger channels by promising the advertisers it's going to be on vetted material. Now I'm going to talk about what the potential long-term effects are on the community. Most of the viewers of these large channels are people who run small channels. So a lot of your viewer base is what they're cutting off. I think this might just run off a bunch of the viewers and discourage new content and new creators from even trying. They want 4,000 hours of watched content on a channel. That's just under 11 hours a day. Many of us small channels refuse to do the clickbait crap, refuse to do the stupid top 10 regurgitated stuff constantly, and aren't ripping off other people's content. And let's not even talk about if you actually happen to get a viral video. Guess what? You'll meet all these requirements, but it'll be too late. You can kiss that goodbye. The time it takes to make that many videos and the costs associated with it to know you have a zero chance of recouping or making anything is pretty demoralizing. A single viral video can help pay for new equipment, new software, or recoup money that you've already spent on those things. And let's jump into the YouTube search function. It's broken, doesn't work. They are filtering intentionally the channels that they want you to see. It doesn't matter if you're searching for something specific. If you haven't viewed their channel before or come across it by other means, it's probably not going to show up in your feed. If you don't believe me, try opening a private browser tab, go to YouTube, and search for something. It's probably not going to show up. It might. Look for a small channel, not something big. If it's a big channel, it's probably going to be fed and easy to find. Smaller channels with great content are near impossible to find. It's not that they don't exist, it's just YouTube search will not bring it up. And it will only come in your suggested video feed if you've already happened to come across that channel. And this has nothing to do with the creator. Even if you make perfect tags, the title's good, you're still not going to come up in that search. The searches are completely slanted. The algorithm appears to give the priority to the big channels and whatever agenda that YouTube wants to push. Which brings us around to the YouTube censorship issue. Anything that does not seem to fit their apparent left-leaning liberal agenda, they kill. Anything to do with boomsticks, or talking about suicide, whether it be prevention or your own personal experience with it, no, unacceptable. There are tons of gun channels that have gone away. Many of you who have watched those channels know, because YouTube cut all their advertising because they don't like guns. This type of censorship is unacceptable to me in any form. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to like what you say. But to cut somebody off because of that, that's not cool. I mean, this is what put the U in YouTube. I've been on YouTube for over 11 years, and I remember the good times. Back when it was about people just putting up videos about anything, whatever they wanted to put a video up. Hey, is someone going to want to watch this? I don't know, let's put it up. And people watched it. And it was all about random people putting videos up, and it was awesome. Now, the money side has changed it slightly, but some of us still like to put up videos. But the fact we're getting cut off is ridiculous. I can understand requiring new accounts to meet these standards, but to take it from those of us who have been doing it for a long time and have already been here is unacceptable. So thank you guys for sticking through this rant. I appreciate it. I usually don't beg for subscribers, but please subscribe. I don't have 1,000. I'm begging you. There you go. I'm begging. Please subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, like the video, comment. Please, I'm gonna